Let's start fast reading of chemical coordination and integration chapter word to word. Every single word I will finish in this video, and it is one shot only. You have already learned that neural system provides a point to point rapid coordination among organs. The neural coordination is fast but short lived, as the nerve fibers do not innervate all cells of the body and the cellular function need to be continuously regulated. A special kind of coordination and integration has to be provided. This function is carried out by hormones. The neural system and endocrine system jointly coordinate and regulate the physiological functions in body. Now 22.1, that is endocrine glands and hormones. Endocrine glands lack ducts and are hence called as ductless glands. Their secretion are called hormones. The classical definition of hormone as a chemical produced by endocrine glands and released into blood and transported to distantly located target organ. As current scientific definition as follows: hormones are not nutrient chemicals which acts as intercellular messengers and are produced in trace amounts. The new definition covers a number of new molecules in addition to hormones secreted by organized endocrine glands. Vertebrates possess very simple endocrine systems with few hormones, whereas a large number of chemicals act as hormones and provide coordination in vertebrates. The human endocrine system described here. Let's start human endocrine system, that is 22.2. The endocrine glands and hormone producing diffused tissues or cells located in different parts of our body constitute the endocrine system. Pituitary, pineal, thyroid, adrenal pancreas, parathyroid, thymus, and gonads. Gonads nothing but testes in males and ovary in female are the organized endocrine bodies in our body. In addition to this, some other organs, example gastrointestinal tract, liver, kidney, heart, also produce hormones. Brief account of the structure and functions of all major endocrine glands and hypothalamus of a human body is given in the following section. Now 22.2 and 1. It is the subheading of 22.2, that is the hypothalamus. As you know, the hypothalamus is basal part of diencephalon forebrain and it regulates a wide spectrum of body functions. It contains several group of neurosecretory cells called nuclei which produce hormones. These hormones regulate the synthesis and secretion of pituitary hormones. However, the hormones produced by hypothalamus are two types: the releasing hormone, which stimulates the secretion of pituitary hormones, and the inhibiting hormone, which inhibits the secretion of pituitary hormones. For example, a hypothalamic hormone called gonadotropin releasing hormone GnRH, it is a simple form, stimulates the pituitary synthesis and release of gonadotropins. On the other hand, somatostatin, it is from the hypothalamus, inhibits the release of growth hormone from the pituitary. These hormones originating in hypothalamic neurons pass through axons and are released from nerve endings. These hormones reach the pituitary gland through a portal circulatory system and regulate the function of anterior pituitary. The posterior pituitary is under the direct neural regulation of hypothalamus. Now pituitary gland, it is of subheading of 2. Here the diagram of diagrammatic representation of pituitary and its relationship with hypothalamus. Here the diagrammatic location of endocrine glands. Now pituitary gland, subheading of human endocrine system, that is point 2, second subheading. The pituitary gland is located in bony cavity called sella turcica and is attached to hypothalamus by a stalk. It is divided anatomically into an adenohypophysis and neurohypophysis. Adenohypophysis is consists of two portions, pars distalis, pars intermedia. The pars distalis region of pituitary, commonly called anterior pituitary, produces growth hormone, prolactin, thyroid stimulating hormone, adrenocorticotropic hormone, that is ACTH, and luteinizing hormone, that is LH, follicle stimulating hormone, that is FSH, and pars intermedia secretes only one hormone called melanocyte stimulating hormone. However, in women, the pars intermedia is almost merged with pars distalis. Neurohypophysis. Now, pars nervosa, it is also called as pars nervosa, also known as posterior pituitary, stores and releases two hormones called oxytocin and vasopressin, which are actually synthesized by hypothalamus and are transported axonally to neurohypophysis. Oversecretion of GH, that is growth hormone, stimulate abnormal growth of the body leading to gigantism, and low secretion of growth hormone result in the stunted growth resulting in pituitary dwarfism. Excess secretion of growth hormone in adults, especially in middle age, can result in severe disfigurement, especially of the face called acromegaly, which may lead to serious complications and premature death if unchecked. The disease is hard to diagnose in early stages and often goes undetected for many years until changes in external features become noticeable. Prolactin regulates the growth of mammary glands and formation of milk in them. And TSH, that is thyroid stimulating hormone, and stimulates the synthesis and secretion of thyroid hormone from the thyroid gland. ACTH, adrenocorticotropic hormone, stimulates the synthesis and secretion of steroid hormones called glucocorticoids from the adrenal cortex. LH and FSH stimulates gonadal activity and hence are called as gonadotrophins. In males, LH stimulates the synthesis and secretion of hormones called as androgens from the testes. In males, FSH and androgens regulate spermatogenesis. In females, LH induces ovulation of fully mature follicle, that is graphical follicles, and maintains corpus luteum formed from the remnants of Graafian follicles. After ovulation, FSH growth and development of the ovarian follicle in females. FSH stimulates the growth and development of ovarian follicle in females. Now MSH acts on the melanocyte melanin containing cells and regulates pigmentation of skin. Oxytocin acts on smooth muscle of our body and stimulates their contraction. In female, it stimulates a vigorous contraction of uterus at time childbirth and milk ejection from the mammary glands. Vasopressin acts mainly at the kidney and stimulates the vaso reabsorption of the water and electrolytes by distal tubules and thereby reduces the loss of water through urine, that is diuresis, and hence it is called as antidiuretic hormone ADH. An impairment affected affecting the synthesis of or release. Now that is 22.2.3, that is in subreading of third, and that is the pineal gland. The pineal gland is located on the dorsal side of the forebrain. Pineal secretes a hormone called melatonin, and melatonin plays a very important role in this regulation of 24-hour diurnal rhythm of our body. For example, it helps in the maintaining the normal rhythm of sleep-wake cycle, body temperature. In addition, melatonin also influences metabolism, pigmentation, and menstrual cycle as well as our defense capability. Now, thyroid gland. Here's the thyroid gland, that is subheading of 4. Now, the thyroid gland is composed of two lobes which are located on either side of the trachea. Both the lobes are interconnected with a thin flap of connective tissue called isthmus, and the thyroid gland is composed of follicles and stromal tissues. Each thyroid follicle is composed of follicular cells enclosing a cavity. These follicular cells synthesize two hormones, tetraiodothyronine and thyroxine, and triiodothyronine, that is T3. And iodine is essential for normal rate of hormone synthesis in thyroid. Deficiency of iodine in our diet results in the hypothyroidism and enlargement of thyroid gland, commonly called as goiter. Hypothyroidism during pregnancy causes defective development and maturation of growing baby, leading to stunted growth, that is cretinism, and mental retardation, low intelligence quotient, and abnormal skin, also deaf mutism, etc. In adult women, hypothyroidism may cause menstrual cycle to become irregular due to cancer of thyroid gland or due to development of nodules of the thyroid glands. And rate of synthesis and secretion of thyroid hormone is increased to abnormal high levels, leading to condition called hypothyroidism, which adversely affects the body physiology. Now, exothalamic goiter is the form of hypothyroidism characterized by enlargement of thyroid gland, protrusion of the eyeballs, increased basal metabolic rate, and weight loss, also called Graves' disease. Thyroid hormones plays an important role in the regulation of basal metabolic rate. These hormones also support the process of red blood cells formation. Thyroid hormones control the metabolism of carbohydrates, proteins, and fats. Maintenance of water and electrolyte balance is influenced by thyroid hormones. Thyroid gland also secrete a protein hormone called as thyrocalcitonin, and which regulates the blood calcium levels. Now, parathyroid gland. In women, four parathyroid glands are present on the back side of the thyroid gland, one pair each in two lobes of the thyroid gland. And in the figure 22.3, you can see here the figure. These four are parathyroid hormones, and these two lobes of thyroid, and it is connected by isthmus, and it is of either side of the trachea. And yes, this diagrammatic view of the position of thyroid and parathyroid in ventral side of VA and dorsal side. And parathyroid hormone is located in dorsal side of the thyroid hormone. Thyroid glands and the parathyroid glands are dorsal side. One pair each lobe of thyroid gland in figure can be seen, and the parathyroid gland secrete a peptide hormone called parathyroid hormone. The secretion of PTH is regulated by the circulating levels of calcium ions. Parathyroid hormone increases the calcium levels in the blood. PTH acts on bones and stimulates the process of bone reabsorption, that is dissolution or demineralization. PTH also stimulates the reabsorption of calcium by the renal tubules and increases the calcium absorption from the digested food. It is thus clear that PTH is a hypercalcemic hormone, and that is it increases the blood calcium levels. Along with the TCT, it plays a significant role in the calcium balance in our body. Now, thymus. The thymus gland is a lobular structure located between the lungs behind the sternum of the ventral side of aorta. The thymus plays a major role in the development of human system. This gland secretes the peptide hormone called as thymosin. Thymosin plays a major role in the differentiation of T lymphocytes, which provide cell-mediated immunity. In addition, thymosins also promote production of antibodies to provide humoral immunity. Thymus degeneration in older individuals resulting in decreased production of thymosins. As a result, immune response of old persons become weak. Here the thymus picture is not given. Now adrenal gland. Our body has one pair of adrenal glands, one at the anterior part of each kidney, and now the gland is composed of two types of tissues. The centrally located tissue is adrenal medulla, and the outside this lies the adrenal cortex. Under production of hormones by adrenal cortex alters carbohydrates metabolism, causing acute weakness and fatigue, leading to the disease called Addison's disease. Now, the adrenal medulla secretes two hormones called as adrenaline or epinephrine and noradrenaline or norepinephrine. Norepinephrine. These are commonly called as catecholamines. Now, adrenaline and noradrenaline are rapidly secreted in response to stress of any kind and during emergency situations and are called emergency hormones and hormones of flight or fight. Flight or fight, and here the increases. These hormones increases the alertness, pupillary dilation, pillow erection, rising of ears, and sweating, etc. Both hormones increases the heartbeat, the strength of heart contraction, and the rate of respiration. Catecholamines also stimulates the breakdown of glycogen, resulting in an increased concentration of glucose in blood. In addition, they also stimulate the breakdown of lipids and proteins. The adrenal cortex can be divided into three layers called zona reticularis, that is inner layer, and zona fasciculate, that is the middle layer, and zona glomerulus, that is outer layer. The adrenal cortex secretes many hormones commonly called as corticoids. The corticoids which involved in the carbohydrate metabolism are called glucocorticoids. In our body, cortisol is main glucocorticoid, and corticoids which regulates the balance of water and electrolyte in our body called as mineralocorticoids. Adrenal, that is, and now aldosterone is the main mineral corticoid of our body. Now next, that is glucocorticoid stimulates the glucogenesis, lipolysis, and proteolysis, and inhibit the cellular uptake and utilization of amino acids. Cortisol is also involved in maintaining the cardiovascular system as well as the kidney functions. Glucocorticoids, particularly cortisol, produces anti-inflammatory reaction and suppress the immune response. Cortisol stimulates the RBC production. Aldosterone acts mainly at the renal tubules and stimulates the reabsorption of sodium and water, excretion of potassium and phosphate ions. Thus, aldosterone helps in the maintenance of electrolyte, body fluid volume, osmotic pressure, and blood pressure. Small amounts of androgenic steroid are also secreted by adrenal cortex, which play a role in growth of axial hair, pubic hair, and facial hair during puberty. Now, test, that is pancreas. Pancreas is a composite gland which acts as both exocrine and endocrine gland. The endocrine pancreas consists of islets of Langerhans. These are about 1 to 2 million isolate of Langerhans in the normal human pancreas. C representing only 1 to 2% of our pancreatic tissue. The two main types of cells in islets of Langerhans are called alpha cells and beta cells. Alpha cells secrete hormone called glucagon, which while the beta cells secrete the insulin. Glucagon is a peptide hormone and plays an important role in the maintaining the new normal body no no normal blood glucose level. Glucagon acts mainly on the liver cells, hepatocytes and stimulates the glucogenolysis, gluco, glucogenolysis, glucogenolysis, resulting in an increased blood sugar, that is hyperglycemia. Now, in addition, these hormones stimulates the process of gluconeogenesis, which also contribute to hyperglycemia. Glucagon reduces the cellular glucose uptake and utilization. Thus, glucagon is hyperglycemic hormone. Now, insulin is a peptide hormone which plays a major role in the regulation of glucose homeostasis. Insulin acts mainly on hepatocytes, that is hepatocytes and adipocytes, cells of adipose tissue, and enhance the cellular glucose uptake and utilization. As a result, there is a rapid movement of glucose from blood to hepatocytes and adipocytes, resulting in decreased blood glucose level, that is hypoglycemia. Insulin also stimulates conversion of glucose to glycogen, that is glycogenesis, and in the target cells. The glucose homeostasis in blood is thus maintained jointly by two insulin and glucagons. Prolonged hyperglycemia leads to complex disorder called diabetes mellitus, which is associated with loss of glucose through urine and formation of harmful compounds known as ketone bodies. Diabetes patients are successfully treated with insulin therapy. Now, testes. A pair of testes is present in scrotal sac, that is outside the abdomen of male individuals. Testes perform dual functions as a primary sex organ as well as an endocrine gland. Testes is composed of seminiferous tubules and stromal or interstitial tissue. Leydig cells are interstitial cells which are present in the intertubular spaces, produce a group of hormones called androgens, mainly testosterone. Androgens regulate the development, maturation, and functions of male accessory sex organs like epididymis, vasa deferens, seminal vesicle, prostate gland, urethra, etc. These hormones stimulate the muscular growth of facial and axillary hair, aggressiveness, low pitch of voice, etc. Androgens plays a major stimulating role in the stimulatory role in the process of spermatogenesis, formation of spermatozoa. Androgens acts on central nervous system and influence the male sexual behavior libido. These hormones produce anabolic, that is synthetic effects on the protein and carbohydrate metabolism. Next one, that is ovary. Females have a pair of ovaries located in abdomen. Ovary is the primary female sex organ which produces one ovum during each menstrual cycle. In addition, ovary also produce two groups of steroid hormones called estrogen and progesterone. Ovary is composed of ovarian follicle and stromal tissue. The estrogen is synthesized and secreted mainly by the growing ovarian follicle. After ovulation, the rupture of follicle is converted to structure called corpus luteum, which secretes the mainly progesterone. Now, estrogen produces wide-ranging actions such as stimulating growth, stimulating growth and activities of female secondary sex organs, development of growing ovarian follicles, appearance of female secondary sex characters, example a high pitch of voice, and mammary gland development, and estrogen also regulates the female sexual behavior. Progesterone supports pregnancy. Progesterone also acts on the mammary glands and stimulates the formation of alveoli, that is sac-like structure which stores the milk and the milk secretion. Hormones of heart, kidney and gastrointestinal tract. Now you know about the endocrine glands and their hormones. However, as mentioned earlier, hormones are also secreted by some tissues which are not endocrine glands. That is glands, however, in the secreted by some tissues which are not endocrine glands. For example, the arterial wall of our heart secretes a very important peptide hormone called as arterial natriuretic factor. Natriuretic factor, that is ANF, which decreases the blood pressure. And blood pressure is increased, ANF is secreted, which causes dilation of blood vessels. This reduces the blood pressure. The juxtaglomerulus cells of kidney produce a peptide hormone called as erythropoietin, which stimulates the erythropoiesis formation of RBC. Endocrine cells present in different parts of gastrointestinal tract secrete four major peptide hormones, namely gastrin, secretin, cholecystokinin, and CCK, also it is called as CCK, and gastric inhibitory peptide, that is GIP. Gastrin acts on gastric glands and stimulates the secretion of hydrochloric acid and pepsinogens. Secretin acts on the exocrine pancreas and stimulates the secretion of the water and bicarbonate ions. CCK acts on both pancreas and gallbladder and stimulates the secretion of pancreatic enzymes and bile juice, respectively. And GIP inhibits the gastric secretion and motility. Several other non endocrine tissues secrete hormones called growth factors. These factors are essential for normal growth and of the tissues and their repairing or regeneration. Now, mechanism of hormone action. Hormone produce their effects on target tissues by binding to specific protein called hormone receptors located in the target tissues, also only in target tissues. And now hormone receptors present on the cell's membrane of the target cells are called membrane bound receptors, and the receptors present inside the target cells are called intracellular receptors, mostly nuclear receptors, that is present in the nucleus. Binding of hormones to its receptors leading to the formation of hormone receptor complex. Each receptor is specific to one hormone only, and hence receptors are specific hormone receptor complex. Hormone receptor complex formation leads to the certain biochemical changes in the target tissue, and the target tissue metabolism and hence physiological functions are regulated by hormones. On the basis of their chemical nature, hormones can be divided into four groups: peptide, polypeptide, protein hormones. Example of insulin, glucagon, pituitary hormones, hypothalamic hormones, etc. Steroids, as example of cortisol, testosterone, estradiol, and progesterone. Now hydathyronin, that is the thyroid hormone. Now amino acid derivatives, that is apinoprine. Hormones which interact with the membrane bound receptors normally do not enter the target cells but generate second messenger, that is cyclic AMP IB3, calcium, etc., which in turn regulate the cellular metabolism. Hormones which interact with the intracellular receptors, that is, steroid hormones, adrenaline, etc., mostly regulate gene expression or chromosome function by interaction of hormone receptor complex with the genome. Cumulative biochemical action result in the physiological and developmental effects. Here the diagrammatic representation of the mechanism of hormone action, protein, steroid hormone. Here the summary is also important for the your knowledge, which in the chapter something important points were not given in the chapter, that will be given in the summary. Those are very 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 important. That's why you can read it. There are special chemicals which acts as hormones and provide chemical coordination, integration and regulation in a human body. These hormones regulate metabolism, growth and development of our organs. Brightness is more. That's why I will. There are special chemicals which acts as hormones and provide chemical coordination, integration and regulation in human body. These hormones regulate metabolism, growth and development of our organs. These regulate the metabolism, growth and development of our organs. Now the endocrine glands or certain cells. No, these hormones regulate unless it was the endocrine glands. First, first I will read it. There are special chemical which acts as hormones and provide chemical coordination, integration and regulation in human body. These hormones regulate metabolism, growth and development of our organs. The endocrine glands or certain cells. Now the endocrine system is composed of hypothalamus, pituitary and pineal, thyroid, adrenal, pancreas, parathyroid, thymus and gonads, testes and ovary. In addition to this, some other organs, that is example of gastrointestinal tract, kidney, heart, etc., also produce hormones. The pituitary gland is divided into three major parts, which is called as pars distalis, pars intermedia, pars nervosa. Pars distalis produce six trophic hormones. Pars intermedia secrete only one hormone, while pars nervosa, neurohypophysis, secrete two hormones. The pituitary hormones regulate the growth and development of somatic tissue and activities of peripheral endocrine gland. Somatic tissue and activities of peripheral endocrine glands. Now, pineal gland secretes the melatonin